Hi, this is Kyle, and this is my emotional design project for the program Goodnight Moon. It's about how you tell it. Goodnight Moon is a reading app and tracker that tracks your pronunciation, the tone you use, tracks difficult words, and helps students prepare themselves to be better readers, and especially readers reading aloud. Goodnight Moon has an adaptive artificial intelligence that learns as the reader continues to grow. It can predict trouble words and actually give practice lessons to help students kind of prepare to meet those trouble words. Goodnight Moon, if you record yourself reading, tracks your tone, your pace, and your pronunciation of words. This also goes into, while you're reading, Goodnight Moon will actually come up with pop-ups that can help you kind of adapt your tone. So if in a section it's kind of a creepy section, a pop-up will challenge you to read it in a creepier voice, creepier tone. Goodnight Moon also has a book marketplace with thousands of children's books all the way up to classics. And then you can set reading goals, and Goodnight Moon tracks how much you read throughout the calendar month and gives you points, so there's some gamification to it as well for the classroom. Here's the kind of book library page. It's simple, it's easy to figure out. You just click the book that you want to read, and it opens up. There's also a book marketplace and top authors, so as students read more, their book marketplace, their library starts to fill. They will have recommendations and all that. So as a student starts reading, they may have children's books and it'll recommend some children's books. But as Goodnight Moon sees that the reader is, upping their Lexile scores, it'll start recommending higher level books to help the reader start to challenge themselves. This is what the reading page would look like. It's simple. It does not draw the eye away from the book. It highlights the section that you should be reading, and then it'll also highlight trouble words. So the AI predicts what words the student will have trouble reading, and it actually starts to highlight them. If you look at the bottom of this page, you can there's a pronunciation button, so that if a student is having trouble with a word, they can click it, figure out how to say it, and it helps them read. And the bottom right is also a record button, so the student can record themselves reading aloud, so that Goodnight Moon can track that tone, pace, and pronunciation and help the student become a better reader. Here's the Goodnight Moon kind of profile tracking. Students set goals for how much they want to read in a week, how much they want to read in a month, and Goodnight Moon gives them points based on it. It also tracks the tone, pace, and pronunciation, and so you can actually look at the analytics. This is good for both teachers, parents, and the student themselves to kind of see how they grow and what they need to be working on. Goodnight Moon also comes up with a list of practice words based on what books students are reading, so it goes ahead of the reader and figures out what words may be trouble for the student and lists them. Currently, I have all the same word, but Goodnight Moon would put different words that they believe the student would need to practice before actually reading. And then finally, a reading tracker. It tells you for each day if you met the goal, if you didn't meet the goal. It will tell you how long you read for each day, so that both teachers, if say they wanted to set a reading assignment for the night, could see that the student had read that night, and parents as well. And the student could see that they are meeting their goals, to have that kind of gamification aspect to it. These are the frameworks that I'm going to be using to evaluate Goodnight Moon: the use qualities, the classroom integration, and the evaluation. For use qualities, Goodnight Moon, I want it to be evaluated on its elegance, so it has minimal technical input from the user. It's pretty much a pick up and go. The AI does most of the work. The user does not have to input anything. It's pretty much start reading aloud, and the AI will do everything for you. The usefulness, the purpose of the design is understood, progress tracked. I want Goodnight Moon to be useful for the user, whether or not they want to practice their pronunciation, whether or not they want to just track their reading. It should have those uses for them. And then seductivity. The adaptive AI learns and anticipates as the user grows. So it starts to learn about the user, learn about their reading habits, their reading styles, and what may be trouble for them, and helps kind of adapt its programming for that. For classroom integration, I have two frameworks. Efficiency. I want it to be able to be used in K through 12 classrooms with no errors. A kindergartner should be able to pick up a picture book and read it with a pronunciation, tone, and pace guide still just as much as a senior in high school reading Crime and Punishment. And also the instructional effectiveness. I want it to be able to meet every learner's needs. So it should be able to differentiate. So it should both challenge a learner, but also meet them at their Lexile score, so that teachers can use this to differentiate their instruction for all levels of readers. And then finally, the evaluation. The first is the usability. I want to be able to just kind of pick up and go. It does not require any technical knowledge. It should be almost intrinsically understood how to use Goodnight Moon. It may be a bit more for the analytics, like kind of parsing those out may require a bit of technical understanding, but just for using it, it should just be pick up and go. The utility, it should be adaptable to a large set of learners' needs. So whether or not a learner needs to work on their pronunciation, needs to just start reading more difficult text, needs to work on the pace that they read, it should have all of those utilities for a learner to use. And then finally, I want it to be evaluated on the aesthetics. It should be a minimalist design. I do not want to take away from the actual reading. And so the aesthetics are really important for kind of keeping it pure. That is my emotional design project for Goodnight Moon. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.